The sandwich was wrapped in wax paper. Not store-bought, not pretty. Two slices of white bread, some peanut butter, and a single thin slice of banana in the middle. It was all Jaden Harris had, and he treated it like gold. He sat in the farthest corner of the school cafeteria. Always the same corner, always the same routine. Unwrap the sandwich. One slow bite, chew, sip water, one small apple for dessert. He never asked for more, never joined the line, because he couldn't. His grandmother had packed that lunch with shaking hands and love. Most kids didn't notice him. 9-year-olds are busy with their own worlds. Pokemon cards, loud laughter, trading snacks. But on that Tuesday, someone did notice. Miss Cardell was new, tall, stiff, with icy lipstick and high heels that clicked down the hallway like warnings. She didn't smile, didn't crouch to speak to kids. She gave orders and expected obedience. That afternoon, she walked through the lunchroom, clipboard in hand, observing, judging. Then she saw Jaden, alone, quiet, eating his sandwich, and frowned. She marched over. "Where's your lunchbox?" Jaden looked up, eyes wide, voice small. "I don't have one." She sniffed. "Where did you get that sandwich?" "My grandma made it." She looked down at the humble little meal like it was garbage. "This isn't school-approved food. We have standards for a reason. That's not nutritious." Jaden blinked. "But She didn't let him finish. She took the sandwich from his hands, walked 3 steps to the trash bin, and dropped it in, right on top of a half-finished juice box. The lunchroom went silent. No one had ever seen that before. Miss Cardell straightened her skirt. "Next time, eat what the school provides," and walked away. Jaden sat frozen, his apple still on the tray. No tears, just silence. That night, he didn't tell his grandmother. She'd already skipped dinner so he could have 2 pieces of bread instead of 1. He didn't want her to worry. The next day, he didn't bring a sandwich, just water. He sat in the same corner, empty tray, watching. But something changed that morning. Someone else showed up. A woman. Not young, not old, not a teacher. Hair in a bun, blazer, jeans, walking shoes. She signed in at the front desk, asked to speak with the principal, and waited. When the bell rang for lunch, she was still there. Principal Monroe came down to meet her. Behind his polite smile, confusion. "Can I help you?" She handed him a folder. "My name is Alicia Freeman. I'm here because a child was publicly humiliated yesterday, and I think you know which child I mean." Principal Monroe's smile faded. "I'm not sure what you're referring to." She opened the folder. Inside, photos, articles, a letter. "Because if you don't, let me remind you, your teacher, Miss Cardell, this isn't the first time she's done something like this. And last time, it made national news." Monroe's hands began to shake. He read the headline. "Elementary school teacher removed after food shaming incident goes viral." And the photo underneath, grainy but clear, was Miss Cardell. Same posture, same lipstick, same expression of cold disdain. Alicia leaned in. "You hired her anyway. You let her near vulnerable children. And now, we fix this." Principal Monroe stared at the folder in his hands. The article, the photo, the evidence. Miss Cardell had done this before, in another state, at another school. She'd publicly humiliated a child over lunch, and the backlash had nearly shut the school down. She'd vanished shortly after, changed jobs, changed states, and now, well, she was here, doing it again. Alicia Freeman's voice was calm but firm. "You have 2 options. You can handle this publicly, or I can." Monroe swallowed. "Are you family?" She shook her head. "No, I'm worse. I'm a teacher and a friend of the family who raised that little boy." The meeting was over. That afternoon, Miss Cardell was called into the office. She never returned to class. The children whispered. The staff avoided questions. And Jaden? He still sat quietly in the corner. Still didn't know what was coming. The next day, every parent received an email. Urgent, emergency PTA meeting, addressing recent incident and ensuring student well-being. By evening, the gymnasium was full. Parents, staff, even the cafeteria workers. Principal Monroe stood at the podium. He cleared his throat. We are here today because something unacceptable happened in our school. A student, a child, was humiliated over the food he brought from home. And worse, this is not the first time the teacher involved has behaved this way. Gasps, murmurs, whispers turning into outrage. Alicia stepped forward next, told him the story. Not just of what happened, but who Jaden was, that he lived in a shelter, that his grandmother skipped meals so he could eat, that he never complained.
Never asked for pity. Just brought what little he had, and was told it wasn't good enough. The room went quiet. One mother wiped tears from her eyes. A father clenched his jaw. Then someone stood. Where is he now? Alicia smiled. He's in the hallway. He didn't want to come in, but I think he should. She turned. The door opened, and Jaden walked in, wearing a hand-me-down shirt, holding his backpack close, eyes wide, feet hesitant. And then the parents stood, all of them, a standing ovation, not for what he did, but for what he endured, for the grace he carried when no one saw him. Principal Monroe crouched to eye level. Jaden, I'm sorry. This school failed you, but that changes today. The next morning, things were different. The school introduced a new program. Open table. No child eats alone. No lunch is thrown away. No shame allowed. They hired a counselor, created a donation pantry, and above the cafeteria entrance, they mounted a plaque. Dignity is when no one is hungry. Miss Cardell was gone, officially dismissed. Her teaching license under review, and this time she wouldn't disappear quietly. Because the parents of this school weren't silent anymore. Alicia stayed in town, volunteered at the shelter, tutored kids in the evenings, and on Fridays, she brought lunch to Jaden and his friends, always wrapped in wax paper, always with a slice of banana inside. He smiled the first time he saw it. This looks familiar, she winked. I learned from your grandma. And now, when Jaden sat in the cafeteria, he wasn't in the corner. He was in the middle, surrounded by friends, by respect, by something he hadn't felt in a long time. Belonging. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.